Warriors to Mtoto na Sheria Show, where we make the law simple for children to understand. My name is Blessed Baraka Juma. I am 14 years old and I'm your host. Today, our focus is on national budgeting. Do you know what national budgeting is? Send your answers on the number on your screen. I know most of you might not understand what national budgeting is, but our explainer DJ is going to unpack this full information for us.
Hi! So, when you're talking about the national government, these are the people who run the whole country. People like the president, the deputy president, members of parliament, the ministers like Minister of Education, Minister of Health, and the judges too. Let's take an example. You are in a school, right? You have the principal, you have the deputy principal, and you have the class teacher. When the principal says, today nobody will be eating in this school, that means no one is going to eat in that school. But when the class teacher goes to their class and say, today you are not going to eat, that means only the children that are in that class, they are the only ones who are not going to eat. And that is how the national government works. When the national government says, we are going to build schools in this country, that means every child in the country is going to benefit. But when they say that, oh, we are not going to invest in medicines, that means every one of you is going to get affected. Now, do we know what national government is?
Thank you very much, Adija, for this information. But remember, Adija is not the expert. She was just trying to give us some explanations on what national budgeting is. We have an expert in the house who is going to give us more information about national budgeting. Mr. Atulo Joseph. I told you that we're having an expert in the house. So, the expert is going to tell us about government budgeting and planning for watoto. So, be ready to listen to everything. Note down so that you can get more information about government budgeting and planning for you. So, sir, can you please introduce yourself?
Good morning, Blessed. Thank you so much for having me here. My name is Atulo Joseph, a child rights advocate, and I work for an organization called Mtoto International as the head of platforms.
Thank you very much, Atulo. I got it right?
Yes.
Yep, so Atulo is an expert who's going to give us more information about child participation in government budgeting and planning. So, as I told you, nimewambia, be ready to note down everything. Possibly use this information to pass it to other people yenye pia wanaelewa, because watoto, you're the best people to pass this information to other watoto. So, I can say Atulo is here to give us more information. So, Atulo, what is government budgeting and planning for children?
Thank you so much, Barak, for the question. And what I'd love to say, even before we go to the government, the planning and budgeting, I just want us to understand, first of all, what budgeting is. And basically, budgeting, kwa mtu yote mwenye anasikiza, is how much money you want to spend. And I want to bring in a twist kidogo. Kama uko na hii pesa, or if you don't have it, whether you have the money or not. It's basically how much money do you want to spend, and this can be anywhere. Let me give an example. In your family, for example, your caregiver or the adults in that family wanajaribu kujiambia, how much will we spend on food in this house? It could be for the month, it could be for the week. How much do you want to spend on school fees for the children? How much do you want to spend on transport? No. So basically, kachini and asking yourself, how much do you want to spend? This goes to schools. In your school, it is run by the school principal, for example, or the board of governors. And what they do is they say, how much do we want to spend on food for the school? And this will determine what foods are we having in school. How much do we want to spend on paying workers, washule? How much do we want to spend even on something like security for the school? Do we want to have barbed wire around the school? And so this, bringing it that way, we go even to government. The government says, how much do I want to spend on running this country? So things like, how much do you want to put into primary education, for example? How much do you want to put into secondary education? How much do you want to put even in universities? and other institutions. Bado inakuja inasema how much do you want to spend on kudefend the country, the police, unaona? How much do you want to spend on even something like health, hospitali, tutajenga hospitali ngapi ama tutaweka madawa kiasi gani? So basically government budgeting and planning is how much money the government wants to spend, and they do this for you. You can do it in a week. It could be your pocket money. You're given pocket money in a week and you want to spend that. Realize, oh, Monday I want to spend it like this, I want to get this, I want to buy this. So for the government, it's usually in 1 year. There's something called the financial year in the government. And so they look at that and they say, we want to spend this for this particular year, 2025, 2026. And I'll talk about it later because it comes from between July to June.
Atulu, talking about the government budgeting that you just explained, how can children access the budget? Sisi kama watoto tunaweza pata wapi the budget? Because government inatuplania, so we need to know what the government is budgeting for. So how can we access the budget?
How can children access the budget? For the government budget, it is usually, like I mentioned earlier, it's usually done by a ministry called the Ministry of Finance. And they have something called the Treasury. Now, this is what, or the sector, all matters money, all matters budgeting, all matters planning. Hakuwezi kuwa na budgeting or anything ya serikali without kupitia in the finance or in the treasury. And so the treasury, like any other government agency, they have a website. It is www.treasury.go.ke. And in this website is where they upload all these things concerning budget. And I've told you budgeting is a process. So between your time in September and until the budget is approved, they always upload something around budgeting. And this is what we call government budgeting books. And so that is where you can get the budget. But then you realize, mara mingi, these are usually very huge files. Na ni documents iko na a lot of pages, 1,000 pages, zingine 1,500 pages.
That's a lot.
Yeah. So unapata most of the time, hata sisi as adults, zingine hatuelewi. Hatuna maybe your time ya go through all these things. Unapata kuna some individuals or some stakeholders, nasema kama we as an organization, as Mtoto News, it is something that tumeangalia and we talk about issues that affect children. And we believe that children need to understand the budget. And so what have we done? We've gone through all these documents, especially the budget, and we've gone through all of them and tukaangalia and thinking, what in this affects children directly and indirectly? And what we have done, we have taken all this with our team of experts, we have simplified it in a way that children can understand. We call that child-friendly. And I carried something with me here. It's called Understanding the Budget, a Child-Friendly Guide. And I can actually give you one of these in Zawadiako. And I know other children can access. Copies. And what this does, if you look at it, you realize that it is called Understanding the Budget, a Child-Friendly Guide. And this is coming to explain to children what budgeting is. And it's talking about things like schools, hospitals, roads, and programs that affect you as a child and your families and other children. And so Mtoto News and many other organizations, I believe, come up with this. So where you can access this is at www.mtotonews.com. Najua wataweka something around budgeting. Na ukiklik hiyo link ama ukienda kwa hiyo website, utapata you as a child utaweza kuelewa na utaweza kuaccess hii mambo ya budgeting yenye tunaongelelea issue.
Thank you very much, Atulu. Guys, have you seen Understanding the Budget? The courtesy of Mtoto News. So I'm so happy. This is my gift. I'll keep it here. So I'm so happy that they sat down. I believe that was a lot of work, actually. But thank you very much. Sitting down, trying to create a child-friendly budget. So remember, just try and get this, and you're going to understand the budget more. Thank you very much, Atulu. I appreciate the presence of you here, having this great conversation. I've really learned a lot. So, in regard to national budgeting, kuna watoto wametuma views zao about the government budgeting and planning for children. So tuwasikize tu kidogo.
Kwa majina naitwa Mutunga Mole, I'm in the grade 9, nasomeanga Unua Comprehensive School. Our teacher is Madam Sila. Chenye naweza kuambia govern ni sisi ka wanafunzi tunaishi na disabled. Sometimes unapatanga like facilities zenye tunatumia shule ziko na changamoto fulani, so wakiplan kwa vile vitu zingine wasitusahau waplan kutuhusu. Na like chenye naweza sema kwa our president William Samuel Ruto, ametushikilia sana juu ukiangalia saa hii hadi zile pesa kwa wazee na watu wenye wanakuanga disabled huwa tunapata. So chenye naweza waambia, na nilisikia kuna mradi wa after tumefanya mtihani kila mwisho wa mwaka, kila county kutakuwa kunachukuliwa watoto wawili wenye wamepita wenye ni disabled wanalipiwa free education na government. Chenye naweza waomba mkiplan budget mnataka kuplan mwezi unakuja, naomba sana mzingatie sana hasa sisi walemavu.
I'm Shned Mutio from Unua Comprehensive School, Kenya, Makueni. We just want them to help children who are less privileged, like those who are disabled, those who are disabled in any way, so that they can put aside some money so that they can help them to study like others just drop out of school due to harassment from other or poverty.
I'm Alex Trevor. I'm from Unua Comprehensive School located in Makueni County. I'd like to advise the government just to set aside not even a mass money, just a little amount of money just to take children to school, because many children have learned and they want to encourage themselves but they don't have the ability. I would like to advise these children to do one thing. As you are always taught by your parents, just follow your parents' lead and you'll do far and you'll go far and you'll be a great person than you think.
Even in those early years, our parents taught us the value of saving and budgeting. Collecting our matalio from the shamba wasn't just about the maize. It was our first lesson in planning, in understanding that every kernel saved had purpose and that small contributions could grow into meaningful rewards. It showed us that financial habits begin in childhood and that teaching children to save and plan early lays a foundation for their future.
Remember to send us your views on the next topic you want us to discuss on our next episode. I'm your host, Blessed Barak Juma. Mtoto na Sheria Show, making the law simple for children to understand. Bye.